talking earlier about our art show, and and what I was telling you about was we've got a number of different artists coming in. We're very fortunate to have a nice group of artists coming in, and one of the artists is known in Woodhaven for a number of her paintings, and she doesn't just paint Woodhaven. She paints local area, and she paints a lot of other scenes. Very, very talented, and she's. She read here in the article that she attended the Brooklyn Museum Art School, the Forest Park School of Art. I'm interested to hear about that. She was in Paris for a while. She's well traveled. She teaches art, and she's done a lot of stuff here in Woodhaven, which she is beloved for. And I'm gonna post this link in the chat room right now. And if you go there and look at that, you're probably familiar with that scene, even though you haven't seen that for a while. It looks good. Lewis is a Woodhaven. And that's a painting that she did, and this is a postcard that was sold around town. And she's going to be one of our artists in our art show. We're very happy that she's with us today, Miss Madeline Lovallo. I'm going to bring her on here. Madeline, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello,
I'm here,
dear. How
Ed.
are you? Thanks for calling in.
Oh, I'm doing very well. Very good.
Very, very good. So now, when did you now say here? What is the Forest Park School of Art?
Well, it was there for many years. It was actually on Jamaica Avenue. It was on top of the Hallmark store. That's
okay.
Right. It was right on top of there, and a group of artists used to go there. He had his school. His name was Robert Burrell, and I'm sure he was very well known in the neighborhood. He was there many, many years, and he had a school, and I used to go at night with other people, and we would paint all different things. He would set up a still life, or you could work from slides or photographs, whatever you wanted to do. And he also taught children in his school. And there were a few people from there. And also, one of his students was Cyndi Lauper.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to go there. And actually, when she became famous later on in the 80s, she helped him out. She was even paying his rent because he fell on very bad times.
Oh, that's a remarkable story. Very nice.
Right, and I'm sure a lot of people from Woodhaven would remember him. He used to walk around, and he taught many children in the neighborhood. And they went on to do other things. But Cyndi Lauper was definitely one of his students, and this is before I came there. The whole group would go see her sing, like when she would sing around local places in the neighborhood, Queens Boulevard. Yes. We actually saw her when I lived in Paris. She came there. And I went with a bunch of people, and we made a big sign in the audience, my daughter and her friends, and we wrote, Bob Burrell misses you, or something like that, but she saw it, and she just couldn't get over it. She didn't expect to go to Paris and see that.
A little taste of home. That's nice.
Right.
Hey, so now about this postcard here, this painting of Lewis of Woodhaven. Now, was that one you painted that on your own? Were you commissioned for that? How did that work out?
Yes, I was commissioned to do it by people who were in a real estate then. His name was Ronald Soar, S-O-A-R, and he actually lived right in the area. And before that, I painted his house. He had a Victorian house, and now they live in Douglaston. Okay, so they commissioned me to paint it.
Now, did you paint? Is this oil paint? Or is
no,
this
that
watercolor?
was watercolor. They wanted watercolor. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's a remarkable painting, especially. I mean, when you look at it, what is the size of that Lewis of Woodhaven painting?
I think it's about like 17, probably by 11 or 12. It was like we had to do it in a long format. That was the only way, really, to show the L train and all the stores on the street. And I stood there and did it most of the time, even though it was like late fall, early winter. So I did most of the painting right on the spot, and then I did all the details in my studio.
So this wasn't done in your studio from a photograph. This was actually done right out in the street. Wow.
Right out in the street. I did take photographs to do windows and things like that, but basically the whole thing was done there, right then and there.
Now another one of your paintings that Woodhaven residents would be very interested in is the one that you've done of the Carousel.
Yes, I still have that painting.
Uh-huh.
Right, and I did that a few years ago. I think in 2008 or 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I stood there the whole time also. That one,
wow.
Yeah. It's better
to be there. What I'm
going to
do here is I'm gonna post a link to your website and into the chat room for the people who are there. They can click on that and they can go and see some of your other work. And I'm looking through this. One of my favorite pieces is the Cross Bay Amusement Park. I mean, it's not a Woodhaven
no,
thing.
But everybody went there.
Right. Now,
everybody took their kids. See.
Right. I mean, as a kid, I went there and have a lot of great memories of it. Was the place still open when you painted that?
Yes, it was. I was lucky. I painted it probably a year or two before it closed without even realizing it was going to close. Right, and I stood there also. It's easier to do on-the-spot painting in oils, I think, than in watercolors. You know.
Well, what do you have? I mean, obviously you have to bring your canvas with you and your easel and everything, but
right.
How do you transport extra water for your brushes? Well, how do you do that?
Well, I use like a turpentine substitute. With water, yes, you have to. Watercolor could actually be done in a car too, so it's kind of easy with that. But when you want to make something more detailed, I just think it's easier to do on the spot painting in oil. Maybe other people wouldn't agree with me because you can go over things, and watercolors you have to leave the white spaces.
Sure.
There is no white color in watercolor. Yes, but
now, which of your paintings have gotten the most most reaction?
That Lewis of Woodhaven and the Cross Bay Amusement Park, those two, and also the Carousel, and I also did Oak Ridge, which has gotten it's hanging in Oak Ridge itself now. They bought that painting.
They bought the original.
They bought the original, and they also bought the original Overlook. That painting also, which was bought by the Overlook. We're on the other side of the park. It's by Union Turnpike.
Now, another place that someone can see a lot of your work is in Councilman Eric Ulrich's office.
Yes.
That's like that's almost like a little museum for you there.
Yes, it is. I never thought of it that way, but it is. Yes.
I mean,
those are all prints there.
Now explain to us what a print. I mean, I know a print is it's a copy.
Right.
It's not just like a photograph of the original painting.
No.
A little bit more goes into it.
Yes.
What's the process for that?
Well, it's called a Giclee Print, and it's probably the highest quality print you could make, and also they were done on watercolor paper, so I can actually touch them up with watercolors.
Okay.
So and they were done by, unfortunately, Woodhaven Galleries just closed 2 weeks ago, but those are the people who did my prints all these years.
I'm really looking forward. So when you come to our show, you're going to be bringing some prints along with you.
I'm going to bring the large size prints and some smaller ones.
Okay.
Right.
And I've had someone ask if there will be anything for sale at the show. So would you be selling any of the prints at the show?
Yes, if they allow it, definitely.
Oh yeah, we allow it. Listen, if someone wants to, we wouldn't stand in the way of someone who wants to purchase a beautiful piece of art and you want to sell it. That's great.
Well, actually, like for instance, the larger ones, the Cross Bay Amusement Park, they're very high quality print. They'll never fade or anything like that. And the one Lewis of Woodhaven, which was done in watercolor, it looks just like it. We couldn't even tell the difference. Mm-hmm. Watercolor is very close to the print itself. So
right.
And even the oil ones do too. I mean, they did an excellent job of. They're very good at what they do. Of capturing the print exactly the way it was made.
I have a question for you here from the chat room. What do the prints cost? What is the range in price?
Well, I sell the small ones, which are matted to 11 by 14, the size 11 by 14, which it's not tiny. It's a nice size. And that goes for $25, and the big one goes for $50. And they come with mats on them. They're all matted. What
is that? That's like a cardboard, like a thicker paper?
Well, it's not cardboard. Yes, it's
right.
It's mat board, very high quality, and it just so that the person, all they have to do is buy a frame for it. And I really try to make it standard size so that nobody has to have a frame made.
Right. That can get costly. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And they could go to Michael's or a place like that and find a kind of frame that would also match their decorations at home and the painting.
Now you currently you teach younger people, or actually all ages. But you teach art now, is that correct?
Yes, I teach basically children from the ages of like 10, let's say, to about 14. But the only way they could do it in my group is they have to be talented, have the ability to draw, because it doesn't work any other way. It's
right.
If they have the ability, then they could do it. It's not like dancing school, like everybody could go, and some may be better than others. It's different with art. So
either you have that eye or you don't.
Yes, that's definitely it, and it shows up at a very early age.
How young did it? When you were very young, were you drawing right from the beginning? Were you like always with a pencil in your hand or crayon?
Yes, always. Anytime I could get a piece of paper, I drew on it. But I drew all the time, constantly, and that's how most of these children are. They constantly draw.
Now let me ask you a question. Because I've done a few paintings myself, and then a year or two afterwards, I'll look at a painting. Do you ever look at one of your paintings and see something and just kind of kick yourself and say, you know what, I really wish I had done that bit better?
Yes, oh, definitely. Yeah. That's part of learning. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, when you first really paint. It's a process of many, many years. And it takes a long time to really develop. And you never stop learning, so you just keep going and going. And you get better, usually.
Sure.
The more you do it, the better you'll get.
Well, listen, I want to thank you for calling in.
Yes,
and,
it was my pleasure.
We're gonna be posting your website for everybody to go to, and
thank you.
And we're so looking forward to seeing you on the 31st.
Oh, yes, I'll be there.
I'll be talking to you before then.
And I want to thank you so much for this interview. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, Madeline.
Okay, then I'll see you at the art show.
All right, dear.
Okay.
You be good.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Bye.